Hey, boys and girls. So today we're going to focus on the water cycle. It's another important cycle in ecology. Some of these terms you have probably seen before if we look back at sixth grade science. Terms like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, you're probably familiar with, but then there's also some new terms you may not be so familiar with, like evapotranspiration or infiltration and things like that. Keep in mind that as we look at a cycle, there is no beginning point or ending point. So I'm going to move quickly through this part because you'll see a video today which will explain more detail. Well, basically, as we have water leave the ground, as the sun heats up bodies of water, whether it's oceans, rivers, streams, or lakes, the water can evaporate from a liquid into a gas to be present in the air. As it rises in altitude up in the higher parts of the atmosphere, it can cool down, forming clouds in a process known as condensation. Eventually, when those clouds get heavy enough, they become gray, and as they combine with cooler air, they can release that water into the air as either rain, snow, sleet, or hail in a process we call precipitation. Eventually, that snow, that water, that rain, that hail hits the ground. It can run off the surface back into a body of water. It can collect as snow, or it can go into the soil, is what we call infiltration. Eventually, over time, those liquid water can be taken up by plants, trees, or roots of living things. And when that water is given off back into the air, it evaporates in the simple process by plants. Giving water off as they respire is called evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration. That's simply water leaving living things back into the air. And so that's a basic look of the water cycle, which you'll see more in the video. For today's activity, we're going to go through the lab room itself of learning about the water cycle. You'll go through the video here and write down the 4 main points or places you can find water, what precipitation means, and so forth. You'll take your own notes here. Keep in mind that when they give examples over here for part 2, there are more than 3. You only have to give us 3 examples for that. As you move on, let's take a look. You'll answer these questions. When you get here, there is a nice little simulation you can do. If you read the slide carefully, we're going to be looking at water, and we're going to look at how the states of water changes. And so right now it's set on neon gas, changes to water, and we're going to change the scale here to Celsius because that's something that we're familiar with. And so you can see now the temperature of this is really, really cold. It's negative 127. So you can see the molecules in this state are actually acting like a solid. Let's go ahead and heat it up. Add some heat by pushing the slider up. Notice the temperature, it changes. So here you can see what happens. If I click on solid, it changes it to a solid. Liquid, look how they move in a liquid. And then gas, you can see how it moves in a gas. So you can either click on these icons over here, or you can use this little temperature gauge. You can cool it down. And so don't forget the boiling point of water in Celsius is 100. The melting point of water itself is 0 degrees. And so you'll pay attention to that. And once you get back into the slideshow itself, you'll answer the questions. You'll drag and drop, match the terms. They are color-coded for you. Here, you will draw an image of the water cycle, label those terms. And then finally, as you wrap it up through your assessment part, don't forget, just type in the multiple choice option that works for 1 through 3. And here, use the word bank. Please use the word bank, as that will help you answer these questions. As always, if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. I'll be more than glad to help you.